What's going on, guys? If anybody in the chat can let me know what the audio's like. Got a new mic. Haven't streamed in a long time. So that info would be most helpful. Getting some kind of weird sound coming through the mic. I don't know if you guys are hearing that in the stream or not, but it's like some Corvax noise. I don't know if it's the game or not. They added some new hype beats. What's going on, Ziggy? Thank you for swinging by. All right. Oh. That was my foot. All right. I am having some serious delays here. Jesus. All right. Let's see. Okay. What's going on, Sword? Trying to get the stream together, dude. It's been a while. It's been a while. Ziggy says I sound okay, so let me know if that changes at any point. But I'm definitely getting some weird stuff happening on my end here. Dude, what is going on? All right, give me 1 second, guys. What's going on, Red? My controller doesn't seem to be working, and I'm having issues with my computer right now. Of course. I'm in dire need of a new one. Okay. Let me try this again. Thank you, K5. Appreciate that. I love you guys too. I actually haven't played No Man's Sky in quite a while. I played the other night. I was like cataloging creatures and stuff like that, just kind of doing some exploration. I haven't really played much since the launch of Origins, so I'm kind of behind. All right. So it looks like the controller's working again. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this to pop back up. Cool. There we go. All right. All right, now hopefully that resolved the issue there. Okay. Yo, that's a sick colorway on that hauler. Like if that had wings, I'd probably try to cop that. All right. Yeah, Origins did change a lot. Like so before Origins, my favorite update in No Man's Sky was actually Pathfinder. Like I think that was one of the ones that, you know, like did the most for exploration. So any update that aids in exploration, I'm a big fan of, and Origins definitely did it. It did that. Clouds look better, environments look better. You know, there's more biomes, more to see. So there's definitely like just this, for example, like just seeing this, like this looks really good to me, much better than what it used to look like. So. But I know like Origins and like the other patches that have come out since then have like changed a lot of things, you know, especially for like next gen stuff. But also, let me know if you guys can hear like any game audio at all as well. Almost let that storm smoke me. No game audio on my end. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Let me know if any game audio comes through now. So, dude, I haven't streamed in a long time, so I'm definitely out of practice. And thanks for letting me know, by the way, J-Spot. Good to see you in the chat, dude. Hyperion says, or Hypertian Says hello. What's going on, dude? So how you been, Sword? Did you have a good New Year's, man? Game audio now. Okay. And let me know if like the mix is too high. Oh, there is one planet in this system that like I've been wanting to show people for a while that's like it I've never seen anything else like it any other time in the game, any other place. It's the only place that I've seen like that. Happy New Year's, buddy. Appreciate it, Sword. I had that Rona, dude, and it got me bad. I ended up with like pneumonia, and I had an in-home nurse, and like my wife called the EMTs twice. I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. The last like month has been kind of rough, man. But I'm just glad 2020's over. Looking forward to 2021. Hopefully, you know, this year. I'm not looking forward to fucking here in 2021, but I'm hoping that it's a better year, man, for all involved. Game audio is a little low. Okay. I'll play around with it, dude. Appreciate it. All right, let's fucking creep that up there. Happy New Year from the Sword Nation. Hell yeah. Whenever I can catch Sword streams, man, I've been digging the Star Citizen stuff, man. Digging it, like, big time. The planet I'm thinking of I put a base on it, so I should just be looking for a base icon to make it easier. I need to go a little bit further out. You are a survivor. Yeah, dude. I mean, for like, statistically, like over 95% or whatever of people who contract COVID-19 has a very like mild reaction to it. But for whatever reason, and I'm 33, man, like by all accounts, I'm like young and healthy and whatnot, you know, maybe a little fat, but yeah, it for whatever reason, I don't know if it's like a genetic predisposition or what, man, but it jacked me up bad, and I'm still having lung issues, and I have like a rescue inhaler now and stuff. It's kind of weird. So every now and again, I gotta like huff it up a bit. I get tired real quick, and they say that for people who have like a bad case of it, like they can. There we go. They can have some ongoing issues for quite a while. So, but my sense of taste and smell came back. So, like literally, like I'm on the up and up. Like it's like, it was like I was almost dead, and then a day later, I was like fine, and that got a lot better since. So, Sword says, "Get in the verse, bro, dude." I know. A computer to like run that game is expensive, man. It's like, and I don't know that I really play PC that much because I've grown up as like a console guy. So it's just I got that thing in my head where it's like I kind of want to buy a computer that can run it. I've been thinking about it, like I can, you know, I could buy it, but it's like, will I use it? Like, if after I spend that much money, like, will I actually play that game? Like, as much as I really should, you know? So. Couldn't see the ground for a second. God dang. Trago says, nice to hear. We enjoy doing the streams. Yeah, dude. Santa got my son a PSVR. Nice. Nice, J-Spot. PSVR is kind of like the way to play No Man's Sky. Okay, so this is the planet, dude. Alright, so, bruh, check this out. I need to get my mech suit thingamajiggy. So this planet basically has like neon green volcanoes, lots of them. I mean, like everywhere. Like just volcanoes like out the wazoo, every few feet, volcano. They're constantly erupting. This planet has sandworms that get triggered every now and again, that jump and dive into the ground and whatnot. It's got aggressive sentinels. It has lightning. It has shooting stars. Like, basically all the new stuff they added in the Origins update is like on this one planet. It's crazy. And see, this is the kind of stuff that like I wanted from No Man's Sky. Like, I wanted these kind of planets. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I wanted. I wanted like dangerous, scary. Oh, inventory's full. I wanted dangerous, scary planets that like were almost like just inhospitable and unlivable. So I put a base computer down kind of like in this flat area, and I'm thinking about building just a small base, nothing crazy, because I've kind of fallen out of love with building in No Man's Sky. But I want to put like a small base here, so that I'm not dying, you know, when I'm on this planet, so that I can kind of just enjoy the storm. So just like a big glass building, so that I can just kind of stand in it and just kind of take it all in, you know. Hidden Juice says, Panda, what's going on, Hidden? Shadow will stream it to your laptop. Wait, what? What's Shadow? Sword. What is Shadow? Tell me about Shadow. It sounds secret. If you need to message me on Facebook, feel free. If the public can't know about this knowledge, I do not know of Shadow. Teach me of Shadow. Alright, so see if your area has Shadow. Dude, there might be shadows. I'll check into it. But yeah, tell me about Shadow. What is that? That sounds crazy. Ziggy says, I can't run Star Citizen either, but Elite Dangerous Odyssey looks fun. Dude, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Hidden's gonna agree with me on this. I know he is. Like, dude, I know he is. Okay, we talked about it, so it's cheating, because like I already know what he knows. I know he knows, and we agree. So, No Man's Sky is kind of like the perfect planetary exploration game, but in space, straight trash, straight booty, except for like the derelict freighters. Derelict freighters are clean, straight up clean. Like, they're awesome. Like, I love that whole like creepy walking in, getting loot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tight. But that's like the best thing to do in space. Space has like no exploration of any kind of any substantial value, other than the derelict freighters, which is something I've been asking for years. Anybody that's followed the channel the whole time knows I've been asking for that for like a hot minute, right? And we got it, and it's sick. And thank you, Hello Games, because it's actually pretty legit. Oh, there goes the shooting stars. I mean, dude, this planet has like freaking everything. Everything. Well, I mean, that was one. I might have hyped it up a bit. But the exploration in space, like traversing space, not good. Combat in space it's fun, but not really rewarding or fulfilling in any kind of comprehensive way. But on the planets, like No Man's Sky is like the best exploration game there is. You know, when it comes to like, I mean, like, just look at this. When it comes to exploring like a planet, right? Elite Dangerous is a really great space game, right? The way that you fly, space combat, the different activities that you can do in space to earn money, like the way that you fly, the way that you navigate space is absolutely beautiful. Like, you know, so it's a great space flight simulator, right? What I'm hoping for with Odyssey in Elite Dangerous is that it kind of marries the two things, because Elite Dangerous is a much more realistic looking game than No Man's Sky, which No Man's Sky is a lot more sort of fantasy than science fiction. So if they can kind of get like the marriage of planetary exploration, like on foot, combined with the already like really good, you know, like space like stuff, you know, then it's kind of a perfect game. It would kind of be like if No Man's Sky and Star Citizen had a baby, it would be Elite Dangerous Odyssey. That's kind of what I'm hoping for Odyssey, and then it kind of gives me that Star Citizen itch without needing like a $3,000 machine to like run it well. You know, I can just like play it on my PlayStation or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm like hyped about with Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Hidden says, "Preach it." Yeah, dude. But like, dude, when I watch Swords like Star Citizen streams, like that, like you can be like flying your ship in space and you can just get up from your cockpit and just walk around your ship, which is really like incredible, you know. Okay, there you have multiple shooting stars now. And then the planets look great, the graphics look fantastic. Like from what I've seen from like Cobra and from Sword and like other channels that cover Star Citizen, the community for the most part seems really great. Like me and Hidden, we were doing the new GTA 5 like heist, and let me tell you what, unless you do some trickery to like get in a lobby without other people, that's a shitty community. Like GTA 5 is just full of trolls and it's a shitty online community. But just from what I've seen, and I could just be seeing like the best sides of everything with Sword, but from what I've seen on Sword's like streams and stuff, like the community at large for Star Citizen kind of reminds me of like No Man's Sky, because the game is not without its like controversy, right? And so it's got a really tight-knit group of like people who play. And my cousin in the Cayman Islands, where I'm originally from, like he's a huge Star Citizen fan. He plays a lot and has, you know, he YouTubes and stuff like that as well. J-Spot says, "Are you interested in doing permadeath no HUD?" Bro, I'm not built for it, dog. I can't do it. Can't do it. I tried survival, dude. I died trying to get to my ship, bro. The last time I did any sort of like, it was either permadeath, was with .com from the FDI on Xbox. He helped me set up a permadeath save. And if it wasn't for him like getting me started, I'd have died in 30 seconds. For me, I like the normal mode, chill, ambient. Like I'm not about that thug life, bro. Like I can't handle that. But like, let me know in the chat if you guys have seen a planet that has neon like highlighter like yellow like volcanoes, and like this many just strewn around, dude. Got like fucking Krakatoa over there, man. I mean, they're everywhere. God, I love this planet. Hidden says, "I have my nipples on my burner in my kitchen waiting for Elite's update." Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. The new Elite update's gonna be, it's gonna kick ass, man, for sure. At least I hope it is, man. Oh, there it goes. It's erupting. Is it? Yeah. Nah, it wasn't. Damn. Alright, let me get back to my ship. Got some more sights to see. What I do want to do is, I've been kind of, when I have been playing, I've been really into just like cataloging life forms on planets. So I've got 3 S-Class multi-tools. One of them is like a good all-arounder, mining, scanning, combat. I want to dedicate one multi-tool to just being a complete like scanning beast. So I can get like hella money scanning stuff and like, you know, uploading it and everything like that. And then I want another one that's just purely combat. And I know Sword knows the mechanics. Like if I like hit that dude up right now and I was like, "Hey, what? Show me the ways of the Force on how to like set this up and like get the best stats." But I'm gonna do it like a Virgin, like a beginner Virgin. Like a virgin, because I haven't played this game the way that I used to play for the last 4 years, And so I feel like I'm a noob. I feel like I've missed out on so much. And it's actually kind of a good feeling, taking a break from it and then coming back to it, because I like it all over again. It's kind of hard to play the same game for 4 years and like still feel the same way about it. Sword says, playing some GR Wildlands, I'll be lurking. Bro, Ghost Recon Wildlands is awesome. Me and Hidden love that game. Breakpoint's really good too though, dude. Like, I know people like tripping about it or whatever, but like if you give it a chance, Breakpoint's actually really sick. And the juiciness when you're capping people in Breakpoint, oh, it's a thing of beauty, dude. I feel like they're Foley artists. Like whenever you do a headshot, he just took watermelons and like hit them with mallets, because that's literally what it sounds like when you blow somebody's head open on Breakpoint. Literally just sounds like smashed fruit. I know that sounds like I sound like a sick ass right now, but the sound of like the combat in Breakpoint is incredible. The Wildlands is so much fun. Oh my god. Ziggy says, space people are the best people, dude. For sure. Especially like I love the community. Like that can save a game, bro. Like if it wasn't for the No Man's Sky community, like this game would have died 3 months after launch, right? So like that's the big thing, dude. Is like the community, you know, can really make or break a game. So this like No Man's Sky community is a great example of that. And so it allowed the game to continue to have like success and like, you know, like be created and updated over time, because everybody stuck together and like, you know, tried to like reach out to Hello Games and, hey, this is what we think will help. This is what, you know, all the people who were like early on, all the small YouTube channels that were like speculating and like all that. Think about like how much speculation we did about No Man's Sky that's like actually in the game right now, you know? And I feel like Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous are the same thing. Like I feel like the community is so helpful towards each other and makes the overall gaming experience like, you know, pretty fantastic. So Commander Lost Jayhawk says, glad to see everybody doing well. Yeah, dude, glad to see you in the chat. Thanks for stopping by, man. For my first stream this year, first stream in a while. We got to get Hidden in on this, dude. We got to get him streaming again too. The channel was so much better when Hidden was doing streams and stuff like that. It's so funny, just such a good, charismatic streamer. I'm a lot more chill, kind of boring, and I'm terrible at games. So like nobody learns anything from me. Like I just read the chat and we talk, and it's kind of cool. But like nobody's gonna. You probably get 20% more dumb by the time my stream's over, and forgot how to play the game because I played it so bad that like you had like a mind lapse. But like Hidden is actually really fun. So we got to get him. We got to like petition to get like Hidden streaming again. I know the secrets, dude. The guy got an Ethernet connection at his house. His internet's popping, dude. Hundreds of megabytes per second, like, or megabits per second. I mean, it's popping, dude. He can stream like in HD, like high def, Hidden. So we got to get it back out there, man. And then when we would co-host the streams together, oh, like I felt like that brought out the best side of me. Just a super cool streamer, man. Someone say Elite? Dude, that, bro, Jayhawk, that Odyssey update, bro. I think it's going to be killer, dude. I know a lot of people, they're tripping right now. They're like, oh, it's going to ruin the game. What are you going to do in space with, you know, man, screw all that. They're not touching space. Like, what you do in space is going to be the same. You want to, like, mine and, like, explore and, like, do all that. That's all going to be there, man. Like, that's not changing with the Odyssey update. But what it will do is it's going to add a completely different type of player who wants that on-foot exploration and combat, the things that come along with that. It's going to add a new dimension to the game. We may possibly be able to walk around like our ships, space stations. Like I feel like all of that's coming. So like if people in the chat like don't know what I'm talking about with like Elite Dangerous, check it out, man. Obsidian Ant has some really good videos on it, and there's really creative content creators out there for Elite Dangerous that will like really showcase how cool that game actually is, man. It's sick. Like Elite Dangerous is, that's a sick game for sure. I couldn't get into it at first. I had a hard time getting into it because it's a hard game to like pick up. There's a lot that goes into like flying. Just just taken off, right? You have to physically deploy like landing gear, like request permission to enter space stations. Like there's a lot that goes into it. So there's definitely a big learning curve at the beginning that deters a lot of people. But once you get past that, like, and you kind of understand the mechanics a little bit, like Elite is pretty sick, man. Like I'm glad like Hidden kept trying to get me into it, because like once I actually got into it, like I got hooked to it for like a while. But that's a great game, and I'm super excited for Odyssey. But yeah, black screening is part of growth. Yeah, I've definitely done my fair share of black screening, dude, for sure. I do like that when you pass away in No Man's Sky, they give you like some like inspirational quote. I've never seen a community with so few trolls in the live streams. You almost don't need mods, dude. For sure, I would agree with that. Yeah, yeah. Let's go someplace new. Use your illusion. Okay. Let's pick a spot and jump to it. I'm not even gonna research it. Just gonna go. I agree about the communities of these games. There's still a lot of stream snipers on Elite, which is annoying, but the majority is solid. Yeah, I haven't really streamed that game. Hidden used to stream that on the channel quite a lot. Well, no, not quite a lot. He did a couple of times, and they were pretty like people. The response to those streams were really good. We just didn't stick with it. But yeah, no. Like the moment like we streamed it, or Hidden streamed it, immediately in the chat was people like hyped, like so nice, so like welcoming to the community, like everything, like they were just hyped. Rocket Queen system, of course I would pick one that somebody's already been to. Hey, it's Miss Metal. That's part of the Cuz Walt and Dave Langer crew there. Let's go ahead and check this planet out. Procedural Traveler, Captain Steve, Panda Sword. How many times do they have to kick anyone? Hardly ever. So, true story, when me and Hidden first started the Hidden Panda Show channel, I would have to like come at some people in the chat with some major lethality, man. It was like, but that was, whoa, whoops. That was during a time where the game was still really controversial. And there was a lot of people that were like, you know, Hello Games, they're thieves, and like, you know, well, they lied, and it was part of that whole like No Man's Lie thing. So at the early stages of like, if you were covering No Man's Sky, if you had like a channel early, it was bad. You know, like if you started a YouTube channel between 2016 and 18, like it was bad. Like you dealt with some shit that like people should not really have to deal with. But what I will say is that like after like Pathfinder, or like even Atlas Rises was the big one with the ARG and everything. That was the one where like, even though Pathfinder was I like that update more, Atlas Rises in terms of like the game's clout was huge, because they finally added some version of multiplayer. They had that big ARG to go along with it. You know, it was like this whole thing. That is like really what kind of turned everything around and like revitalized it. And then everything beyond that point was mostly positive going into like Next, Beyond, Origins, and so on. But yeah, some good names in there, dude. Procedural Traveler, Captain Steve for sure, Sword, the Legend. And you know, like what I usually tell people is obviously there's many ways to like support the channel, right? And that's any YouTube channel. But my favorite way is in my description. I have put channels there. There's more that I have to add that I really like, people that I think deserve a sub, a view, a like, whatever. So whenever I go live, which hopefully is a lot more often nowadays, this year, that's my goal. But whenever I go live, the best thing that you can do to support this channel is to support this community, and to click on the channels in my description and like sub to those guys, because they're really, really great. Like Marty Merrick and AshFacta and Richard Huntington and all those guys, they're all there. So, you know, click on them, visit those channels, they're great. Let's see. It's only going to add more people to the universe. It's going to be great. It is. I hope they can add cross-platform, at least with the new consoles. That would be nice, having cross-platform and cross-save, right? Like, so one of the things I'm going to bring to the channel here is, I don't know how you guys are going to feel about it, but it's Google Stadia. So they ran a promotion because I've had YouTube Premium for so long, and like their music subscription and everything, all those different Google services, that for people who had, you know, the premium service for a certain period of time, they all got this thing where they could get Google Stadia for free, like the 90 days of like the premium edition, like free. They gave you the controller for free, the Chromecast Ultra, all that for free. And so I set up a Stadia account. I downloaded a bunch of free games and bought a few. And let me tell you something. If you got a decent internet connection, you forget that you're not on a console. Flat out. That is the thing that like has me the most excited right now in terms of technology. When Cyberpunk 2077 came out, there was 2 ways to play that game that everybody agreed on universally: PC and Google Stadia. I mean, if you've got a good internet connection, it runs great. And you can do it from anywhere. You can stream from anywhere. Your phone, your tablet, your laptop. Like, you're essentially playing supercomputers from Google's data centers. So if you've got a solid connection, dude, I was playing Watch Dogs 2 at 60 frames a second in HD on my laptop that's like 5 years old. And it's not even a gaming laptop. It's sick. So I'm going to start doing a lot more like just play like more variety of games. But I really do want to cover like Stadia a lot because I think it's controversial. I think a lot of people say a lot of bad things. Oh, damn. Some bitch came to me quick. They say a lot of bad things about Google Stadia, and it's kind of like a laughing stock, and people aren't like, you know, they're not really, you know, very supportive of like cloud-based gaming. But when you actually get it in your hands and you actually play it, and like I said, the big prerequisite is you got to have a pretty solid internet connection. Hardwire is the best way, but you got to have some beastly Wi-Fi. But it is phenomenal. It really is. And I don't think that it gets enough positive coverage. All right, so let's scan these guys. See how slow my scanner is? What I will say is I don't know when it occurred because it'd been a long time since like I did a lot of exploration and like cataloging of like animals and stuff in No Man's Sky. But at some point, dude, they made it much easier to scan like flying animals. Because flying animals were the absolute like worst thing to scan. The worst. Alright, you T-Rex turkey. Did I get him? Got him. Where's my ship? There it is. Also, the way they did the menus, like, I love the new menu. Like, it just, they did like little minor quality of life things that like I can really appreciate. Like, just it made it a little bit more organized and easy to find things. You know, I like that they tell you like how much unique fauna is on the planet. Maybe they've always done that, but I don't think it was like ever this easily accessible, you know? And I like this whole like UI that they've done. It's kind of a rip-off of like Destiny in a way, but I dig it. Beautiful ship, Panda. What's going on, Starkwolf? Nice to see you in the chat, dude. Thank you for stopping by. We have the same ship. We are Twinkies. I love you, Stark. Let's see. I have like 1,600 hours in Elite. God damn. Bro, I've been playing No Man's Sky since launch day. I have 980 hours. I don't even have 1,000 hours yet. You want to hear something really sad? Is Hidden had like well over 1,000 hours and lost his save completely. It wasn't backed up to USB, wasn't backed up to PlayStation Cloud services or anything, and he had an issue with his PlayStation and lost 1,000 hours of his life. Cray cray. Let me get up in the chat, see what I missed here. Nothing. I'm caught up pretty much. J Spot says I was baptism by fire. Yep. Jayhawk, I won't lie, I love the first 20 hours of the original launch of No Man's Sky, but I was a little disappointed. Yeah, if you listened to everything, right? Like everything that they said, every single interview, all the stuff that other people were talking about, you know, all those other things, it was easy to get carried away. I'm a little bit more cynical. Like I work in sales and marketing. I've worked for big marketing companies. I do sales now. And I know that there's always a little embellishment. There's always a little of trying to not necessarily coerce. I think that there are like bad sales tactics and marketing tactics that are very dishonest. But sometimes there's a little bit of stretching the truth, or like, you get what I'm saying? Like when you watch a movie trailer, right? The company that's doing the movie trailer, okay, it's not like the director cut the movie trailer, right? So the company that does the movie trailer, they've been hired to broadcast a certain experience or, feeling that they're trying to create like in the movie that doesn't necessarily convey or translate very well, right? So there's always that sort of like, this looks good, but maybe it's trash, right? Because they have a product to sell. And so that cynicism kind of kept me from being like majorly disappointed. I remember like thinking to myself at the very beginning, like, here's my prerequisites. Because you got to remember, I'm not a PC player. I'm a console player. I used to have a gaming PC back in the day, just never really played it. I've grown up my entire life as a console player, just never really gotten into the whole PC business, right? So I didn't have a frame of reference. At the time, Elite Dangerous was not on PlayStation. There was nothing like No Man's Sky on console, period, right? At that time, people were working on Star Citizen, and there was lots of other sort of similar games, right? Or games that were big, expansive, like space exploration, survival games, so on and so on, with base building and all that kind of stuff. So for PC players, they kind of had a frame of reference already. I didn't. So my prerequisite was, okay, here, if everything else is false, as long as this is true, I'm happy. And those things were, can I fly off a planet, leave that planet, go to another planet and land on it, and both planets are full planets, fully explorable, and have the potential to be different. And then can I do that same thing in another solar system? If those three things line up, I'm a happy camper, because I have nothing else like it, no other competition, nothing else in the repertoire from PlayStation, right, that is gonna fulfill that need for me. So as long as those basic requirements were met, I was happy, and I was. Was I aware that maybe not everything made it and the game was kind of clunky? Of course. But my prerequisites were met. I was very happy with that. To me, the $60 was not that big of a deal. And should it have been less for what we got? Yeah. But ultimately, they made right by us, right, by producing all these updates. So by releasing all the updates, adding all the content, not charging any extra for it and everything else, they've more than redeemed whatever people were unhappy about from launch day. To the point where, think about this, 4 years later, the game is popular. It's on the top download charts on a lot of different systems, and they're still winning awards for the game 4 years after its initial release. So, all these people out here like trashing, CD Projekt Red because of like the Cyberpunk release and all that. Like these developers, like, I get it. Like, they took your money, but if they're a good company, which I believe CD Projekt Red, for example, to be, give them a chance, dude. They're gonna make it right, just like No Man's Sky did. No Man's Sky set that bar. Nobody else can do it any other way now. They have to fix it, right? So, but yeah, I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent. Even though I'm on PlayStation 4 Pro and not on PS5, I did notice though, since the Origins update, that like grass textures are much better. And before, they didn't move when you walked through it, or at least it wasn't very obvious. It was like you phased through it. So now it's like the environment responds to your character a little bit better. So that is one thing I have been noticing while I've been playing. Having a great internet connection isn't easy for a lot of countries unless people or Bill Gates wants to make. That's true. That's true. The Stadia business model is a little flawed, and the concept of cloud gaming, you're right, most of the world does not have access to a super high-speed connection like that. But also, most people in the world don't have access to $2,000 or $3,000 to have a gaming machine that's comparable. So if you happen to live in a place where you have a good quality internet and you have a budget for $100 and some odd, you have a high-level gaming machine with Google Stadia. So I think that there are more like pros than cons. But yeah, again, you have to, if you live in a really rural area and you're like still getting like DSL cable, you know, you're not getting fiber optic and all that, and you're getting like, you know, 18 megs. Yeah, it's not going to be for you, you know. But like I said, I think that there's room there, and I think that I don't think that the coverage has been that fair for what it is that they're actually doing and what the value that players get with the service. I think I already scanned one of these. So how many creatures I got left? 2. Okay. I usually scan predators' corpses. That's a good idea. I also I'm kind of a hoarder when it comes to my inventory. And so I end up just hanging on to stuff for like no reason at all. Also, I got a random drop of fusion igniters in a, what is it? The space anomaly. I do want to say this for anybody that ends up watching this. Do not do this without permission. Like I know that it's cool that you can like transfer inventory to like a new player or like a nearby player. But there are some people that want to experience now, for me, I've been playing long enough. I'm already wealthy in the game. I don't give a shit. But there are players who they want to enjoy the core gameplay loop, and they want to do things the way that the game design is set up to do them. And just being able to drop millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into somebody's inventory without their permission, it can ruin the experience for them. So if you're one of those kind of people, don't do that. At least like add the person to like your friends list and ask them. But yeah, I was in the space anomaly and people were just like shoveling stuff into my inventory. But yeah, which if I cashed in on all this, I'd like max out. Like I'm at 3.4 billion. Like I can't even use all this. So, but if anybody that's like watching this like needs these, like I will send these into your inventory if you want them. But yeah, they got randomly dropped on me, so be on the lookout for that. Let's see. Mary Lizzie, what is going on, dude? Thank you for stopping by, Mary. Appreciate that. And she says, they made the flying animals easier to scan in the Beyond update, I think. Okay, so I'm definitely far behind. So once you get to like a certain, like, so when you first start out playing No Man's Sky, unless you want to scan animals and that's what you like, but when you first start out in No Man's Sky, scanning is like the easiest way initially to like get money, right? It's like scanning and uploading. If you're playing the game as it's designed to be played, that is like, you know, that and like once you get like your advanced mining laser and you can like mine like, you know, better commodities or whatever. But for the most part, like it's really easy to just scan and get money. And once I got to a certain point in the game, and the only save I really spend any time on is just my regular save. So once you get to like a certain point in the game, you're just not really, at least for me, you're just not really scanning anymore. Like, you're not really doing that activity. And so I guess I missed where, like, they made a lot of those quality of life improvements. But yeah, like, dude, you can, it kind of locks on. You don't have to be so perfect anymore with how you, like, when you scan a creature, which can be really difficult for the erratic flying patterns of, like, some of the animals. So but yeah, they definitely made that a whole lot better. All right, so let's see if we can find these other two creatures. There might be an ocean on this planet, and then there's, like, fish. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to take back off. Like, I think that's what it is. I think it's like some fish I need to find. I'm going to go to space. There's probably, like, water on here somewhere. Starkwolf says, gotta roll out, y'all. Thank you for stopping by, Starkwolf. Don't know if you're still watching or not, but, dude, always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Thank you for swinging by. Really glad I had the opportunity to do this tonight. I have a new space, like, set up. My wife went back to college, and we have an office in our house, like a study. But I do a lot of work from the computer for my job, and, you know, and then with her studying and, like, basically, like, she needed to have another space. Like, we needed another space, so that if one was using the other, that, you know. So anyway, we set up, like, a little desk in our room, and so it's nice because it's a separate space where if she wants, she can go in the study and, like, do her thing, and, like, I can come in here and, like, stream and, you know, whatever else. Because most of my gaming stuff is up in the theater room, and there's not really, like, a desk or, like, a way to set it up to where like, I can stream from there. And I want all my gaming stuff in there. I don't necessarily want it in like, you know, in the bedroom, because that's where I don't want to spend that much time here. I like having it in the theater room and having that option. So having this set up in the bedroom allows me, like, I can just, like, remotely connect to my console, and I can sit in a chair and have a desk and have my computer set up and my mic and all that, and I can just do that from here, which is a lot easier. Ballistic Cola says, who is this? Hello, peeps. What's going on, Cola? Thank you for stopping by, dude. I usually try to... So when Ballistic Cola streams, it's early for me. So I usually get a chance to catch him a little bit on the way to work. I'll have it playing in my car or something like that, or I'll kind of work and lurk periodically. But for anybody in the chat, if you don't follow Ballistic Cola and you're not subscribed to him on YouTube, definitely do that. One, his voice, his deep British voice is just awesome to listen to, and he builds pretty cool shit. So watching, like, just some of his playthroughs and, like, builds is awesome. Ah, there we go. All right, so I got one. Whoop. I got one more. How, of all of the things I could have wandered across, I'd find that thing and drop into it randomly. Ridiculous. One of the things they do need to fix, though, is they said they fixed it, but obviously they didn't. It storms in caves, and that just needs to stop. Like, that needs to not be a thing. Like, I should not have a thunderstorm in a cave. Then again, it's a sci-fi space fantasy, so who am I to, like, say, really? I also really like that effect that they added around the visor when you're in the visor view. It's subtle, but it's a really good look. It looks good. So I've got one more. Where is it? Rest in peace, Hidden. Still hungover from last night. Ugh. Yeah, my brother like had to go purchase some Pedialyte to help get some water back in his body. I did drink somewhat heavily for New Year's Eve, but not that bad. But I tend to drink a lot of water while I'm drinking, and even though it's not good for the good old breath, one of my favorite snacks when I'm drinking it is pickles, which I think something about maybe the salt and vinegar kind of serves as like an electrolyte and kind of keeps you hydrated, possibly. But yeah, I had no hangover or anything like that from the previous night, but my brother was a mess. Maybe it's in the cave. Doubt it. What the hell is that? Oh, so the creature above me is attacking me through the ground. That thing sounds very angry. Oh, there it is. Alright, you guys got a buddy around here somewhere that I need to scan. Maybe it's another bird species that I missed. Alright, dude. Didn't it give you like a clue? I think it gives you a clue. Uncommon, underground, always active. I knew it would be in a cave. I should have known. I should have followed my instincts. I failed myself and my family and dishonored my tribe. Do. Korvac cubes. Or vortex cube. Subterranean relic. It goes deeper. Deep Ski 9. Mick Quinn says, I have 250 hours and lost it. That was from March this year to July. I'm at 40 hours on my new save. Damn. Caroline Kelly in the chat says, hi again, Panda. Hi again. Jayhawk says, I've become cynical as I've gotten older, which is why I wanted Cyberpunk and never pre-ordered. Yeah, you know, I was avoiding pre-ordering, just seeing how much they were delaying it. And my brother kind of convinced me to just say, screw it, just kind of go ahead and pre-order it. And I'm kind of glad I did, because I got kind of like the little pre-order bonuses, like, you know, through GOG, and like, you get the little map and the booklet and all that kind of stuff. And I did the physical copy as opposed to the digital one. My brother did the digital one. I'm kind of glad I did the physical copy. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is where they really messed up. They should have made it very clear early on that the gameplay footage that you were seeing was on next gen or PC. And that the game would have a lot more limitations on base PlayStation 4 and Xbox. It's sad that you have to say that. I think that if you are rocking a 7 or 8-year-old or older machine and playing a game that just came out that is also compatible on next-gen consoles, that one should assume that maybe it is not best optimized for your device. But you kind of got to hold people's hands these days. And therefore, a lot of people were upset. If you look at really who's mostly upset about Cyberpunk 2077, it's people who are playing on base PlayStation and Xbox. If you're playing on PS4 Pro and up, it's really not that bad. Are there bugs? Yeah. Are there some issues? Yeah. But it runs fairly well. Now, on PS4 Pro, I'm not getting 4K. You know, obviously, I'm not getting 60 frames a second. Probably not even getting 30 most of the damn time. So yeah, I mean, there's some issues, but I also understand that like this game, for how long it was under development and like when it came out and like what it's doing, it's probably more suited to more powerful machines. And I understand that like, you know, I'm not going to get everything I want on an older system. You know, it's not going to run how I'd like it to, because my equipment is old, you know. But that, you know, that's just my thought. I want to take a moment to get caught up in the chat here. Caroline says, "Give them a go. It's amazing and only get better. I'm really enjoying Cyberpunk." Yeah, it's fun. Why are the creatures on this planet so hostile? Lost Jayhawk says, "I agree with you to a point, but there's no good excuse for selling 2077 the way they did. They were shady about the state of the game on base Xbox and PlayStation 4 consoles." Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't see that comment before I made my statement. But yeah, I think we're in agreement that they should have been more clear about the base PlayStation and Xbox thing. They kind of they showed a very advanced looking game that ran really well and looked really beautiful and had all these other things. And then if you're on base Xbox and PlayStation, then you ended up with like a mere shadow of like what you were being marketed. And so yeah, I mean, to that extent, I agree 100%. That they should have been more clear about that. Frozen tubers, I had to pick that up. I don't know what it is or what they do, but I had to get it. Is it just me, or did my jetpack push me harder to the ground just now? That was weird. Alright. Gotta find this last life form. In a cave, always active. Where are you? Watch it be like a little bug thing. Like a really small creature. Did it say it was in caves or near caves? Uncommon, underground. Yeah, underground. Steam is having a rewards contest across 10 categories. No Man's Sky is under Labor of Love. Go vote. Yes, Mary Lizzie's right. Go vote. I think there's a little bit of camera delay. That sucks. Damn. Well, sometimes there seems to be. I do need a new computer. This computer is multitasking its ass off right now, and it's really not built for this. Spencer Ocampo says, gee, my friend. Spencer is a guy that a personal friend of mine that I used to work with, who went and joined, I believe, the Navy. So congratulations, Spencer. Hope that experience is good, and that you're having the time of your life and getting to meet a lot of cool people and have a lot of cool experiences, and maybe even travel the world a little bit. So my sister-in-law recently got married. She got married last year, and her husband is being stationed in Italy. So that's cool. She gets to go live in Italy, and it's paid for by the U.S. government. So pretty awesome. So hopefully, Spencer, you get to go someplace cool like that. Ziggy says, there's a new mission type to show you the total discoveries for the planet that you're on. Yeah. Jayhawk says, for example, there's over 150 million PS4 Pro/Pro consoles and like 5 million PS5s. Yeah, and 4 million of them are currently being held by scalpers. I'll let you do the math for how many people paid for that, and I get refunds, but it was pretty disingenuous. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely making a solid point. Like, I'm following your logic on that, and I'm definitely getting it. But here's the thing, right? This is what No Man's Sky has taught me. We should be a whole lot less reactionary and much more logical with how we want to get what we want from a game developer, right? Death threats and all those other sorts of things are a non-starter for me. You can't both, as they're delaying the game, you can't both threaten them to release it whilst simultaneously complaining about it being released in an unfinished state. You know? I think that if they were allowed to, I think that they would have continued to delay it, which would have pissed a bunch of people off, so they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Now, CD Projekt Red has a history of releasing games in bad states and fixing them over time. They did that with The Witcher 3, which is like one of the best RPGs I've ever played in my lifetime. So, you know, can they fix it? Yeah. Can they make it right? Yeah. The question is, will we allow them? Will we accept that? Right? And will we support them in doing so? Because that was the big thing about like No Man's Sky, right? Is that there was a lot of people who could not forgive Hello Games and were not willing to accept, you know, them fixing it. They got burned, and that's how it was going to be forever, right? Which I don't think is entirely fair or appropriate. So, but that being said, you know, to each their own. But I think they should be given the opportunity to make it right, to fix it, to try to, you know, as far as base PlayStation 4 and Xbox goes, there's only so much they can do. I think that is broken, and it will remain broken. They might be able to optimize certain aspects of it or whatever, but it's done. But for the people on PS4 Pro and up that are having issues, those definitely need to be resolved, for sure. Okay. I appear not to be able to find this creature. What was that? Oh, mineral. Not what I'm looking for. I will support CDPR, but man, I wish that, yeah. Yeah, they shouldn't have caved to investor pressure to release it and should have delayed release again. I agree. So was it investor pressure that made them release it earlier, or was it player pressure? I felt like it was likely player pressure, but if it was like investors and like the, you know, like the business aspects of it were like, we need our money, you need to drop this game. Yeah, I mean, that's just shiesty for all involved, for sure. Yeah. Cola is cool and so funny, he cracks me up. Yeah, dude, Bliss Cola is awesome. The state of the game and PR and future sales of the game will never be like The Witcher 3. We'll see. Not that it matters. It sold like gangbusters. People forget Witcher 1 had issues when released. Yeah, I mean, games get released like in bad states sometimes, but it's been a big thing lately. Like, I will say that No Man's Sky like was kind of the one that set, it was like the tipping point where people were like, we're tired of this. They definitely weren't the first, and they're not going to be the last, but it's definitely been a lot more prevalent because I think that these developers, they're developing much more complicated games. And they're not taking, the companies are not giving them enough time and resources to make it perfect, like to make it right. It's very rare to see games release like Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War or, you know, like these major titles that like release perfect with like no issues. You know, like you don't really see that. It seems to kind of be a trend where games are under long development cycles still having issues and being released sort of unfinished, just for a cash grab. I'm definitely seeing a pattern. One thing I can see from modern entertainment is that it's way easier to create great product when you have great source material. Yeah. Also, one of the things that doesn't get talked about a lot is the procedural generation technology that Hello Games uses to do No Man's Sky. I think that this sort of technology in the right hands with small developers is going to allow them to create unique experiences that run really well and build larger games than really they have any business doing. But that's gonna inject a lot more uniqueness into the gaming market, because just like Hollywood right now, everything that we're seeing is like prequels and sequels. We're not seeing a lot of like new IPs, like totally new things. Like we're not really seeing that. Like No Man's Sky was sort of like the first like unique thing to come out on PlayStation in a while that was like a big release. That it didn't have a predecessor and wasn't a sequel or prequel to something. So I kind of want to see this technology expanded on for smaller developers to release large, fun, unique games that don't already exist. I'm probably just going to leave, dude. I don't think I'm ever going to find this damn creature, dude. Oh my god. And it wants to attack me. What was that? What was that, fella? Nope, scanned. I mean, it did say underground, but like I haven't seen one damn thing underground. Cyberpunk was their baby, with some light influence from a million Cyberpunk sources. I'm not sure CDPR is great on their own stories. AshFacta stream was great. Loved the mods and vibes, but must admit it's great to be back in vanilla No Man's Sky at Panda. Thank you, appreciate that. I did not know, for as many times as I've been able to catch Ash's streams, I had no idea that the music that he always plays is music that he made, which is pretty amazing. Like, for anybody that doesn't know, his link is in my description. You can click on it and check out the channel. But AshFacta, when he streams, he doesn't like, he's not reading comments or there's nothing like that. It's just him playing the game with like this music in the background, and then he responds via like the text chat. Like, but you're not hearing him or anything like that, right? But it's the vibe, man. It's like he's playing this like electronic music, and like it's ambient music, and he's playing No Man's Sky, and he's doing mods, and he's building, and it just has this like vibe. And I did not know that he made the music. So like, if you guys want to see like a unique streaming experience where the streamer is producing the music you're listening to, jamming out to while you watch him play No Man's Sky, then check out AshFacta and click on the link in the description. Because one, is just a good dude, but two, learning that today was kind of mind blowing. We got Egg Foo says, yo, hi everyone, what is going on, Egg Foo? Hi, Foo Ron. Aside from technical aspects, the game was underwhelming from a narrative choice aspect. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I lost my light. Oh, I'm being attacked. Alright, let's see if we can find another cave. It disconnected from the power source. Now I am a shadow. The shadow that Sword talked about. The shadow of Mordor. A thief in the night. Give me 1 second to plug the power source back into this guy. Boom. Agree, but only insofar as there could be a lot more differences between life paths Yeah, the only thing that really is different is how like your journey starts. But there's not a lot yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of differences between the different life paths. Like they should be very distinctly different throughout the entirety of the experience, and they overlap in a lot of different weird ways. Spencer says, "I hope so too. Good to see you back on the stream. We got to hop on a session sometime soon, for sure, Spence, for sure." No one beats Bethesda for for releasing unfinished games. Jayhawk says, "You disagree, Caroline? There wasn't one mission I played that would have had a different outcome regardless of my build, stealthy, pacifist, etc. Okay, maybe a few, but the general narrative and ending wasn't affected by my choices. Mass Effect all over again." Yeah, I agree with Jayhawk on that one. I mean, dude, okay, here's the thing. Am I enjoying Cyberpunk 2077? Yes. Do I think it's a good game? Yes. Do I think it looks good? Yes. Do I like the atmosphere, the environment, the story, all that? Yes. Are there problems? Yes. Are there bugs? Yes. Could it be better? For fucking sure. Yeah. And like just to kind of parrot what you guys are talking about, right? Like, yeah, they definitely could have. When you're talking about developing a game over that course of time, right? How long were they working on that thing? Since like 2012 or some shit like that, right? I can't remember. It's a while. Like they were working on it for like a while, right? Like you couldn't have had more like people dedicated to creating like diverging like paths in the story. When your development cycle is that long with that many delays, I mean there was things that yeah for sure could have been done differently, like 100%. But Hello Games went dark for 3 months. CDPR that's true. That's very true. Caroline brings up a very good point. Hello Games went radio silent. Didn't talk to the community one fucking bit. Didn't apologize publicly. Didn't reach out to anyone. Didn't have a publicist speak on their behalf. They vanished for several months. And in a strange way, I think it was like the right choice for the way that they were going to go about fixing the release, right? So in some strange sense, like, it was the right move. But yeah, I mean, CD Projekt Red kind of jumped on it. I mean, they were like releasing patches straight away, fixing bugs straight away, putting out statements straight away. And that is a good point, and it is distinctly different than the way that Hello Games handled their shit, for sure. That's a great point, Caroline. Great point. I like that Hello Games supports small indie game developers. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about them. Even on their Twitter, just giving some light to, you know, even these like little small 8-bit games that, like, you know, look like they could run on somebody's like Tamagotchi, you know. But like I think it's important to support indie developers, but I think it's also important to support unique gaming experiences, because there's too much Assassin's Creed and, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then they're never done taking your money. They'll essentially take a game that had came out already and they'll re-release it like in an HD version where nothing about it is any different. It just looks a little bit better and runs a little bit smoother. And then they sell it to you again full price. Like, that shit's got to stop. When it comes to the Nintendo Switch, it makes sense. Like how they re-released Witcher 3 on Switch, and like they did the BioShock anthology on Switch, which actually looks and runs really well on Switch. Like that sort of thing, like I'm okay with it, because it didn't exist on that system before, and then it was rebuilt for that, you know, for that device in a completely different way. You know, which is a portable gaming machine, you know. So in that sense, I'm okay with it. But like just re-releasing games that were already out and like just, you know, hardly doing anything with them, and then reselling them again, like at full price, like fuck that. I'll play my more pixelated version that I already own. Caroline says, absolutely, Panda. That music fits No Man's Sky so perfectly. So evocative. Ashes. Dude, he is super talented. For sure. For sure. The beats are sick. And, like, he plays the game at a certain, like, pace. Like, it's hard to imagine, like, changing the game pace. But he does. Like, he's playing the game at a very different, like, gameplay pace. If that makes any sense. And it's almost like the music is part of the whole experience with how he's going through and how quickly he's building and going through the different things. And I mean, something as like simple as him setting up a screenshot. You know, it's like you have to see what I'm talking about. But definitely, guys, check out his like channel. He streamed tonight. Me and him I was gonna go live, and I noticed that he was live. So I just waited a while and just decided to watch his stream for a little while instead before going live, just because I wanted to see it while I had the opportunity. But yeah, it's hard to explain. It's something you have to see, but it's really cool. He does a very, very good job. But the whole time I didn't know that he made his own music. I didn't know that until today. So that makes it even more impressive because like you're hearing his talent, like his music, while watching him kick ass at No Man's Sky on PC. So, yeah. Honestly, CDPR's updates have been band-aids. HD's updates are substantial. Yeah, the Hello Games, their updates are like overhauls. They're not really like updates. They're massive, game-changing overhauls with like some minor patches in between, but mostly like they're huge. You know, just think. I mean, look at the game. Think about what it looked like when it came out. I feel so bad for people who come into No Man's Sky late. Is it? I feel bad for anybody that comes into No Man's Sky late because they didn't get that journey. Like when you've been playing it since launch, you have a different journey. I think I heard creatures. I think I heard something. I think I'm going to find it. Oh my god, I think I'm going to find it. I think I'm going to find it in here. Going through that Foundations. Pathfinder, Atlas Rises, and then like Next. Like, Next wasn't necessarily one of my favorite updates, but in terms of how much it changed the game, huge, right? Next was like that point where it wasn't even the same game anymore. It didn't look anything like its predecessor. Like it was entirely different. Like I love that I got to take that journey with this game. Like seeing it change like that over time. I feel bad for anybody that jumped in at Next or later. It's you got to buy like the PS4 copy and like turn off your internet to play like that day one version. It's the only way to even have a taste of like what we went through as a community. Dude, I'm hearing stuff down here. There's a creature somewhere. Or not. Every time I see these like little red things in here, I keep thinking it's like the indicator saying that like it's something I haven't scanned before. It gets me every time. And that's going to end that course. Nope, thought I was going to find it. Definitely didn't find it. Damn it. Yeah, latecomers to the game, missed the whole... Yeah, dude, it was so different. It was just so different. Tyler Thunder, dude, what's going on, dude? Holy shit! I can't believe I missed that. Sup? It's been a while. Sadly, Twitter disabled my account, so I'm not on there anymore, dude. Hopefully, you weren't like, you know, putting some freaky shit out there. Tyler says, crazy 2017 was 4 years ago, and now I remember first chatting with you in 2017. Good memories. Crazy how fast time flies. I know. We used to come up with some pretty good speculation theories back then, and the funny part is like most of them ended up happening. So I don't know if like Hello Games watches all the smaller YouTube channels and they're like, that's a good idea, we can do that. But definitely, like, we came up with some shit that was like, oh, that'd be cool if they did that. Like, they totally should do that. That would make so much sense for this game. And then, like, 6 months later, like, they did it. Or, like, a year later. I mean, I'm not taking credit for it, but I'm just saying, like, the community as a whole. I know people hate speculation channels, and, like, they get pissed off about it and stuff. It's like a love-hate thing. Like, and this channel started out as a speculation channel, and we still do the speculation stuff from time to time. Yeah, I feel like that kind of in a way helped them to figure out like what they could do with the game, like in a really weird and strange way. It's like it inspired them or gave them ideas. I also used to email them all the time, so I would like write these long stories of like different gameplay mechanics and things that would like make the overall experience better and like this, that, and the other thing. And I would write these long emails through Zendesk and I would send them in. So if anybody's got any ideas for No Man's Sky, I feel like they actually read those. So send those in. Dude. I love how they only put 6 fauna on this planet and made the 6th one impossible to find. Jayhawk says, I never thought about that. Being a day one player, it is way different seeing the evolution and appreciating what Hello Games has done for the community. Yeah, if you hadn't played since day one, you won't get it. I feel like honored in some strange way that like I got to go through it, you know? Like I got to play the game at launch in 2016. I got to go through the negativity, the backlash. I got to feel isolated. Right? And like I was the only person that was playing and enjoying the game. And then I got to like, you know, discover channels like Just Jared and Boondock and Iceman Third ID and CobraTV and like Richard Huntington and like all these different people, you know, that were like streaming and like doing stuff. And then it was kind of like, oh, there's some people out there like me that are enjoying this game, you know? And then that got me into the No Man's Sky community. And then it was like, the updates were happening, and there was all that buzz with the people in the community getting hype. And there's the No Man's Sky Aminos, and like, you know, which are really fun, and I like more than Discord personally. But you know, and then it was like just all of that together. It was like the release, the backlash, the negativity, the attacks, and then like watching it, like watching the developer fix the issues, watching them come back out into the public, watching them getting like accolades and like attention, watching them like fix the game and people appreciating it and like them being nominated for awards, and watching the entire public perception of what happened with the release of like No Man's Sky completely change. And now they're like the poster child for having the best comeback story ever in the history of the gaming industry. I mean, there's nothing like it. And we were, you know, if you were playing No Man's Sky in 2016 and consistently all the way up until now, you experienced history. Like, it's lame as it sounds, right? Like, it's just a video game. It's not that big of a deal. But, like, in a way, it is. Like, you experienced a time in history that will go down as, like, one of the best, like, rags to riches, like, comeback kid stories in the history of, like, just gaming. You know? And I feel like I'm part of something special in a weird way. And, I mean, that probably sounds, like, overly sensitive and corny or whatever, but it's just how I feel about it. Dude, I'm gonna literally punch a hole in my wall. This is so frustrating. And like now it's like the principle of thing. Like I could leave and like go do something different and just kind of get over this, but like it's the principle of the matter now. Like I can't stop. Like I will not leave this planet until I find this 6th creature. And I don't recall ever seeing living things walking around inside of caves. So the fact that it's telling me that there's something in the cave is bugging me. Because it's like, no, there isn't. there never is. But apparently I'm wrong. Been good. Happy to talk with you again. Yeah, dude, for sure, for sure. Ziggy says, I didn't like the E3 look of the game and only got into it because of the next update. So I'm not one of those. It's not like the good old days players. Most people disagree. Yeah, you know, I've gotten criticism for saying this, but the game look like everybody's like, oh, I want the E3 look. Like, no, I fucking don't. Like to me, the game looks better now than it ever did. I don't want, like, I like revisiting, let's say, the old version of No Man's Sky. It's like a part of history. Like, I like to revisit it. But, like, there's no parts of me that wants, like, that back or wants the E3 version of the game. I like having my customizable character model that I could see. I like being able to decide to play in first person or third person. I like the exocrafts and all the stuff that they've done with that. I like all of those things that they've done and they've added. Dude, are you kidding me? You found me down here? But I think the game looks better now than it's ever looked. I think it looks better than E3 No Man's Sky. Especially since the Origins update with the new biomes and the new colors and the new weather and all of the new stuff that they added. Yeah, I don't want that previous version. That previous version didn't have derelict freighters. It didn't have, like, you know, none of the shit we got now. So they can keep it. It's good from a historical standpoint, and it's a cool thing to, like, have and to have experienced and to have gone through. But yeah, the game's like a fucking million times better now. J-Spot says, the dark times. Those with the dark times. The dark times in the galaxy. I love that you're putting out all these channels. I followed all of them. Yes. Do it. Do it. Yeah, dude, follow those channels, dude. They're great. AshFacta. Dude, Richard Huntington is an OG. He's an OG. And he plays No Man's Sky, but he also plays, like, CD Skylines, and, like, he does, like, Farming Simulator and, like, all these different things, and he's just a really cool guy. Also, fun fact, Richard Huntington lives, like, 35 or 40 minutes from me in Texas. We've never met in person, especially with that Rona going around. I don't want to try, but I kind of want to run into him one day and buy him a beer. Because he doesn't live very far, and I literally have been watching that guy for years. And he, like, lives down the road, kind of. Never met him once. Whenever Hidden was, he was in a different band. They did a nationwide tour, and they played all over the country, and he got to meet Cobra in person, which was friggin' awesome. And he loved that experience, obviously, and said that Cobra's actually just a really nice dude, like, in person. Like, his whole like channel persona, it's not like an act. Like, he's a genuinely, like, nice, like, warm, welcoming, like, guy. The golden voice of CobraTV. You're right, bro. No Man's Sky is a special game. Yeah, dude. Watching the Internet Historian video was one of the best things I've ever watched. I was behind. I was behind the whole time. That was a good video. That was cool, dude. We got Big Pidge in the chat. Says, "Hey Panda, hey chat, what's going on, Big Pidge? Welcome back. Glad to see you in the chat. I know it's been like 9 months since I streamed last, so the fact that you rolled back through is pretty dope, and makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside and kind of special, and maybe a little frisky. So thank you, Big Pidge. Appreciate it." The E3 look was like a colorblind cartoon. No, I mean, it definitely had like an old retro look to it, and it was very intentional and very much what they were going for, and I totally get it. And it was going for like an old 1970s like sci-fi book cover, like really retro sci-fi kind of thing. They achieved it. That look was unique, and nothing that looked like it, and it was cool, and I'm all for it, and I get it. And yeah, I mean, it was dope, but it definitely looks better now, and people can get mad. But like MZK would always, he'd always be talking about the old color palette, the E3 color palette. I want the old colors, and da 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 da. I'm like, dude. We have like high dynamic range. We have like millions more colors than before. We have so many shades of like grass and rocks and stones, and like the way that caves are lit, and like there's a thing that people have with like nostalgia, I believe. I don't have that thing, that nostalgia thing. So I don't have like a desire or like need for some like old school shit. I just responded to you.
Thermal protection falling.
Okay. The wife has spoken. What are these things? Curious deposit. Looks like a dinosaur shit. The baby monitor is right here in front of me, honey. I've been watching it. I'd be stoked to see the mod support for 2077 a year from now. My goodness. Hello Games going silent was the best option for a group of 15 people. Yeah, I kind of tend to agree on that. Honestly, CDPR's updates have been... Okay, so I already went through that. Let's see. Let me catch up here a bit. There we go. Agreed. Current game is so fine. It's all about the journey. Can't wait to see what they do next. Yep. They did state, like, they hinted to, like, doing more and having, like, more planned. Glowing mineral, valuable rock sample. I'll probably just end up discarding that, actually. But they very clearly, like, hinted that, like, they have more planned for the game for this year. So that's good. I mean, that's always... You know, they don't charge for it, dude. Like you paid the $60 one time, and they've been updating it for the last 4 years. You know, and like doing massive overhauls and changes the entire time. I mean, to me, you're getting like $300 of value for having paid $60 one time. Because every time they do a major overhaul, it's like they're releasing a new game each time. Let's call the ship over. Big bitch says cave creatures can be nightmares to find. Clearly, dude. Clearly. I'm gonna have to like finish this on the next stream. Like I can't, like if it was like the previous planet that I did the other day where there was like 13 creatures. MZK retired from being a NMS content creator, sort of. He did. So for his personality and his editing style and his like sense of humor and everything, his channel should be a lot bigger than it is. And the problem with MZK is where I think that he's struggling and like losing interest is that he stuck around No Man's Sky because it was the community that was nicest and most open to him. But it's a very small and niche community. And there's not very many big channels. There's a couple, but there's not a lot of big channels that cover No Man's Sky, at least not consistently. And so I think he threw himself into the No Man's Sky bag. And like whenever he would try to do something different, the No Man's Sky viewers weren't really there for that. And so then his views would go down and it would only spike when he would cover No Man's Sky. But what a lot of people have to understand is that you're building another audience that's coming for different games, right? So he should have continued to do those other games and stuck with it while still doing No Man's Sky to build that other audience and that other community. Because he makes such great content and his charisma and everything, like his channel should have been a lot bigger than what it was. But also I think he just like lost interest just with the gaming stuff in general. And I think that, you know, with his last video where he was talking about, you know, what he kind of wants to do with his channel, I'm going to support that and watch it. And I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be healthy for him and cathartic. And it's going to be good for other people who are maybe struggling with some of the stuff that he's struggling with as well. But so I'm excited to see it, and I think it's a good thing he's doing. But yeah, and I really think that he deserved to have a much bigger audience than he really ended up getting. Seriously though, if anyone hasn't watched the internet, yeah, definitely check out the Internet Historian video. Big Pitch says, how's the family doing, Panda? Family is good. Baby woke up from her sleep, needs a bottle. I'm about to shut the stream down. Wife's ready for bed. Baby's up, she didn't really eat all day today. I don't know if her teeth were bothering her or what. So she like kind of cluster ate like little bits here and there throughout the day. And so I think she's just ready for like a big sort of like milk dump in her body right now to get herself back to bed. So I'm gonna go do that. Just gonna finish up the chat and then close it out. Ballisticola says, if I remember correctly, Sean started making this on his own 10 years ago in 2011. That's true, and it was actually shown on accident. They originally had no they originally weren't gonna release it. Like it was like a tech demo. Like they were playing around with the code, the procedural generation. Like they were, it originally wasn't supposed to be something that was going to come out. They were experimenting with it, and what ended up happening is they were doing an interview for Joe Danger, and somebody happened to see that they were working on No Man's Sky, and then it kind of shifted to like that, and then it was shown at E3, and then it became a thing. But that No Man's Sky was like one accidental interview shot away from like not even having come out. You know, that was something that was like they were testing. I think that No Man's Sky ultimately was at the very core at the beginning was supposed to be, can we use this technology to build large, interesting games? I don't think that like originally No Man's Sky was the objective. And then it just kind of became the objective because people wanted it. Like once the technology was discussed and it was like shown a little bit, and then it was like, okay, we got to show this at E3. We got to make a big thing about this. Like this is huge. Like, you know, this is revolutionary. And it came out bad, but like it still is revolutionary if you think about it. Like look at what you're looking at right now. It's being built off the friggin' machine as it's happening like live. Like it's not pre-baked. Like the assets, everything that you're seeing is all procedural, which is just nuts. But that also means that like it's unpredictable. They don't know what's out there. They don't know how everything functions. There's a ton of bugs, and every time they do an update, it throws something else off that they can't account for. So on one hand, this technology is awesome and game-changing and revolutionary, and on the other hand, they have no control over it. I've easily put 12,000 hours into this game. That's crazy. I feel like I've spent half my life on this game, and I got 980 hours over 4 years. TSS says, this is the only current game I feel like got the full value. Yeah, for sure. Like the $60 is like cheap for what you actually got, you know? Johan Liebert says, I feel free when I play No Man's Sky. Thank you for joining the chat, by the way. Appreciate you stopping by. And yes, I agree. It definitely feels free. MZK's Drunk Man Sky streams were great. I never watched those. I think because the Drunken Taco kind of burned me out, like seeing somebody like play drunk, like live stream themselves playing a game and getting drunk. It just didn't feel right. And so I never wanted to watch it. I can't explain it, but I would watch like Drunken Taco do his thing, and it would get bad, and I just didn't want to see that from MZK. But you know, maybe he wasn't getting that lady. You know, Caroline says 3,600 hours, and I feel way more than my money. Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, so what? A lot of the planets, you know, after you've been playing for 4 years, a lot of shit starts to look the same. They can only do so much to make it feel fresh for so long. Right, but things start to look the same, you know. But yeah, definitely get your money's worth. Like the $60 for what the experience that you got from the get go has been incredible. Also, I think when it comes to like, I've always said this, and I really want this to get to Hello Games somehow. They have to make things more rare. The really nice, comfortable planets with the good weather and the sentinels that are chill and like all that needs to be like once in a blue moon, so that you can really soak it in and really appreciate it and really enjoy it when you see it. Because it's too easy to find the good shit, and so then you get burnt out. You feel like you've seen everything. You feel like stuff's not new, and then because of that, you feel like, okay, like I've seen it all. And if they would have just made shit way more rare, then they wouldn't have that issue. They were trying to give people too much. Because it's like Star Wars fans. People don't know what the hell they want. You know? Because like the No Man's Sky community was like, oh, we want lush planets. And I've been searching for 100 hours and I can't find a good lush planet. I keep getting stuck on these stranded desolate moons and all this other stuff, and I can't find any Diplos. And so then they update the game and they make all that stuff more accessible, and everybody's like, dude, the game has no variety. I can't. I've seen everything, every planet, every biome. It all looks the same. It all looks the same. And it's like, dude, you were complaining that you couldn't find shit. Then they made it easy to get it, and then now you're mad because you've seen it all. So what they should have done is just not done any of that shit, and then just kept it rare. And, said, fucking, you'll find it when you find it. That's the whole point of 18 quintillion planets, is that maybe you never find a Diplo. You might just see other people's pictures of them and appreciate them that way, because you're stuck in the Delta Quadrant somewhere on some fucking planet, and you could jump 300,000 times, and you may never find a Diplo. And that's part of the fun. Maybe you do, who knows. They should make things just incredibly rare. Incredibly rare. Johan says 50 hours. I agree. MZK should have been huge. Yeah, it should have been a much bigger channel. I love the guy. He's so entertaining. His channel should have been just massive. Like, I think about it a lot. And I'm like, he's funny. He edits videos. Always has great takes on stuff. Like, he's smart. Like, I don't know. It just, his shit is good. And he should have just been a lot more successful than he really was. And I hope that whatever he's doing next, he finds that success, because he's a great content creator. I didn't like him at first. Over time, it kind of grew on me. At first, I didn't like him, but then I ended up loving his channel. Big Pidge, great to catch your stream, Panda. Happy New Year, and see you next time. Bye, everybody. See you, Big Pidge. Ballistic Cola says Jeff Knightley just popped into the office after going to Media Molecule. He didn't even see what they were working on. He just took a stab in the dark. Yeah, it was something like that, right? J-Spot says play permanent no HUD. Ziggy says scarcity is also a form of variety. Yeah, and I think it's a more effective way than having a small team to try to figure out how to create things that no one's ever seen before. They can buy themselves a lot more time if they make it hard as hell to find some of the stuff, and then they can continue working on those other unique items and drop it over time, so that it always feels fresh, it always feels different. But they got to make you work for it. That's part of the enjoyment. Like, if there's 5 planets in a system, one of them is going to be a fucking lush planet, at least, maybe 2, and it's the case every single time. And if you played the game when it first came out, it wasn't the case every single time. It just simply wasn't. I specifically remember, this is true, I had warped over 50 systems before even finding a planet that had grass on it. That's what I want. And actually, I had to restart, so my very first save is gone. So about 6 hours into the game, I had to reset, because I ended up on this planet that didn't have any resources on it, and I ran out of launch fuel, and I didn't have anything to make any. So I got stuck. That was a thing in No Man's Sky, that you could literally get stuck on a planet, because sometimes the planet didn't have any resources that you would need to make any of the stuff that you would need to make to get the fuck off the planet. That is true. That happened. Right? There needs to be like more stuff like that. I think, personally, it needs to be, everything needs to be more rare. There needs to be, because that adds to the challenge and it adds to the variety. 100%. Caroline says, found something never seen before in No Man's Sky the other day. Made my day greater. Mushroom beetle underwater. See? We want it. The yearning is there. You want that feeling of like you're not seeing shit for like maybe months, and then you're like, oh, I've never seen that. And it still happens. Like, it still happens to me 980 hours later, right? It still happens to me, 4 years down the road. Every now and again, I'll see something and I'm like that first planet I showed you guys in the stream. I've not seen that anywhere, where all that's happening at the same time. Endless violent storms, aggressive sentinels, neon exploding green volcanoes everywhere, lightning, sandworms, shooting stars. Like literally, it has everything on that one planet. I've never seen that. And the planet sucks. It's horrible. I love it. It's like hell. It's awesome. And I've not seen another planet even remotely close where it has all those things at once. The planet is awful. It is absolutely awful. And I'm going to build a base there, and I want to share its disgusting, hideous nature with everyone because I've not run into anything else like it. Maybe you guys have, but I haven't. And that happens every now and again. And if they just made stuff more rare, you'd have that feeling more often, and you would demand a lot less from Hello Games in terms of what they have to create to keep you interested, because you're seeing so much less of it. So like it was said in the chat earlier, variety or rarity is a form of variety, right? Make it more rare. Make it more rare. Ballistic Cola says the Cola Hub has a Diplo in the Cobra system. See? You remember when back in the day when there was the Galactic Hub was like the only hub, like the main hub, and you the way that you had to go there was you had to figure out your coordinates from a signal booster on the Pilgrim Star path, and then you had to manually warp there. If you got lucky, a black hole could drop you nearby. You remember that? Now you can just punch in a portal code or like join someone's lobby. But it took me many, many days to get to the Galactic Hub. Many. And that was when I got lucky and a black hole dropped me in the quadrant I needed to be in. But I still had to warp hundreds of fucking times. You remember that? Crazy times. Ziggy says, lush type planet, every dozen or so systems would make them actually special. 100%. That's all I need. Maybe even rarer. You know, like if there's a cluster of, let's say, 1,000 stars, okay, make like 50 of them have lush planets. Because you're going to see a bunch of just dead shit. And you're going to get real tired of it, and you're going to be like, damn, I haven't come across anything cool in a while. You might almost even give up on the game. And then all of a sudden, boom, you land in a system, and you're like, oh my god, look at that. Plutonium. Don't you dare talk about plutonium. That's what caused me to get stuck on that planet. Lots of mountains, low atmosphere, caves out the ass, no resources. Your boy was stuck. Watched many a sunrise, sunset on that planet. But I had to admit that there was no leaving. That my hope that somebody would rescue me. And this is before it was like proven that like there was no multiplayer. At one point, I was like, maybe someone will find me. But it wasn't going to happen, so I had to reset. Less is more. Totally is. Kendall Southwick, you came at the end, but glad that you stopped by. It says, oh, the random black hole, good times. Yep, or maybe you've been watching the whole time and this is the only time you commented. But anyway, I love when I see you in the chat because I know how long you've been around and you still swing by, and that is cool as shit. Caroline says black holes are risky, could wind up adding heads to your... Yeah, it could. It was that gamble. It was like, it might drop me in the adjacent quadrants, like, and I'm further away. It was, they called it black hole roulette. I mean, it was literally a gamble. Like, you had to get lucky, and I got lucky. It still took a long time, and I had to warp a whole bunch, but I got lucky. I mean, it dropped me pretty damn close. But getting to that black hole actually took longer than getting from the black hole to the Galactic Hub. And then once I got to the Galactic Hub, it was like the happiest day of my life. And the first base I saw was Andy Krychek's base. And actually, right after I got there, the update happened. It was either Atlas Rise. It was Atlas Rises. The update happened, and the game glitched out, and it made Andy Krychek's base my base. And half of it was underground, and you could get stuck inside. So Andy Krychek lost his base, and I lost my base, and they got swapped around, and his was halfway underground, and you couldn't... If you managed to get inside, you weren't able to get back out of the base until they came out with the patch that fixed it. And it was like good old days. Ballistic Cola says, I remember guiding a certain person to the coda. Caroline will remember. Not subtle, Cola. Not subtle. We know who you're talking about. And finally, Caroline says, I remember well. All right, guys. So my wife is going to kill me. She wants to sleep. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you guys for swinging by on my first stream in forever. I'm glad that like 95% of it went well. It's kind of sketchy at the beginning, but we found our way. It was good to see everybody. This is going to happen more often. It's just that, obviously new dad, new job, busy. It's hard to find the time. There are many more priorities than doing a live stream, obviously. But she is old enough now and manageable in a way and has a very routine wake-sleep schedule for the most part. And so it's a little easier for me now to be able to pull this off. And I'm glad that you guys were here to support the channel and to show up and to hang out in the chat. So really kick ass. It was nice seeing everybody. Again, there's a couple ways that you can support the channel. You can donate through PayPal. If you like, there is a little thumbs up you can click, which is cool as shit. When you click on it, it makes me happy. There's a subscribe button, so if you're not subscribed, you can subscribe. Obviously, share the channel with other people. But more importantly, check out my description. There's other great channels there. Click on those, check those guys out, support those channels as well. That's the best thing that you can do for this channel and for the community, is to all support each other, especially the channels who have been around from the very beginning and who have always put positivity out there and developed great communities and helped other YouTubers get started and helped them grow. So the least I can do is return the favor. So check out the description, click on those channels, show them some love. And Caroline says, good night. Great to see you back, Panda. Love you and the family. Appreciate that, Caroline. Thank you so much. Ziggy says, happy 2021, everybody. Yes. Let's hope that this is a much better year for everyone. I really hope it is. I feel it in my bones that the world's going to get Rona under control and things are going to change and we're going to have a better positive year. 2020 was rough. Sword says, see you, bro. Have a good one, Sword. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Have a good night. Peace.